Here I'm asked to solve the inequalities below and express the solutions in interval and inequality notation. So first one here, I'm going to go ahead and add 6 to both sides because I really want this to be equal to, I say in air quotes, even though you can't see me, to 0 here because I want to factor this and set them kind of equal to 0. So once I factor this, I'm not going to actually do it in this time, but I'm going to say it's x minus 6 and x minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. And so from here, I'm really going to kind of graph this. This is just one way to do it, right? So I could plug in some numbers and try and solve that way. But the nice part about this problem here is that if I were to graph this, it would be a quadratic. I'd have the x value of 1 and 6 here, and I'd have a positive parabola here. And really, when I'm looking at this, I see that the entire left side here is less than or equal to 0 on the bottom half. So all of this stuff down here, all of this, that's when it's less than or equal to 0, including these points right here. So really it's between the x values of 1 and 6, because it's less than or equal to. The way I would write this here in inequality notation is I would say that 1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 6. That would be inequality notation. Interval notation, we use the bracket to say that it includes 1, and it goes to 6, and it includes 6. So that would be my interval notation for the second one. For B here, I don't have to now necessarily factor or anything, but what I see here is that this side of the equation, if I were to graph it, call that positive 2, positive 1, and negative 3, that's where my x-intercepts are at. It's a positive third degree function. So what that means is it's going to look something like this. And so I see that there are 2 parts where it's less than 0. It looks like from here, everything over here. So when it's less than negative 3. And also this part right here between 1 and 2. So when I write this here in inequality notation, I have it as x is less than negative 3. Let me just move over here. Or it's between, x is between 1 and 2. And I say less than here because in my equation, I'm saying less than 0. So it doesn't actually include the points, it's only the values between. So interval notation, the way that it would work is I would say from negative infinity to negative 3, I'd use this little union sign to kind of say or here. And I would say 1 to 2. So this one here is inequality. This one here is interval notation. And that is the values of x that make the whole side less than 0.